I keep hearing my daughter call for me at night, but she's never awake. Part 3/final. I sat on the couch, still in the same clothes I'd driven to the hospital in. My hands were trembling. Not from fear, at least not exactly. From confusion. Exhaustion. My wife sat across from me, elbows on her knees, staring at the floor. The house was quiet. Even the hum of the fridge seemed to fade. She didn't look angry. She looked defeated. Before I say anything, she started. You need to know I believe you. That should have helped, but it didn't. It only made my stomach drop. I saw it, I said. She was burning. And then the screaming. She nodded slowly. I know. What do you mean, you know? She lifted her eyes to mine. There was no hesitation in her voice, no confusion. Just a terrible kind of calm. It happened to me too. The words didn't make sense at first. She must have seen that on my face, because she went on. When I was little, 3, maybe 4, my mom said I had a fever that wouldn't break. They took me to the hospital just like you did with her. Ran every test they could think of. Everything came back fine. The next day, I was perfectly healthy. She let out a shaky breath. My mom told me later, I wasn't the first. I frowned. What do you mean? It happened once before. To my grandmother's baby sister. She swallowed hard. Her mother, my great-grandmother, was desperate. The doctors couldn't help. So she went to see someone. An old woman on the edge of town who promised she could save the child. My wife's voice trembled. There was a ritual. A promise. The fever stopped that night, but something came with it. My chest tightened. Something? My mom always said it was meant to protect us. A spirit that guards the bloodline. But it doesn't feel like protection. She looked away, her voice dropping to a whisper. It feels like it's waiting for something. The room felt colder. Waiting for what? I asked. She hesitated. When she finally spoke, her voice cracked. For the next one. Her words hung in the air. I waited for her to explain, but she didn't. She just stared past me, eyes fixed on something that wasn't there. The next what? I asked. My throat felt tight. I frowned. You mean this thing, this spirit, it's going after her? She didn't answer. I need you to tell me the truth, I said, leaning forward. Is she in danger? That got her attention. She blinked, looked at me, and finally said, she's not in danger. Not yet. Not yet. My mom used to say the spirit watches the bloodline. It doesn't hurt the ones it chooses, it marks them. The fever is how it starts. I could feel my heartbeat in my ears. Marks them for what? She shook her head. I don't know. My mother didn't either. She said her grandmother refused to talk about it. All she ever said was that the child always survives, but something else doesn't. The room felt smaller. Heavy. What do you mean something else doesn't? She looked down at her hands. Her fingers were trembling. There's always a cost. My great-grandmother's baby survived, but her husband didn't. I survived. My father passed not long after. The silence that followed was unbearable. She said it was protecting the bloodline, I murmured, more to myself than her. So, why does it feel like it's punishing us? My wife didn't answer. She just stared at the baby monitor on the coffee table. The faint static hummed through the speaker. Then, from somewhere deep in the white noise, came a soft, broken whisper. Daddy. But this time, it wasn't our daughter's voice. My wife's head snapped toward the sound. Her face went white. Did you hear that? I whispered. She nodded, but didn't move. Her eyes glistened, like she was remembering something she didn't want to. Neither of us wanted to believe it. The voice came again, faint and broken. Daddy, come in here. She stood, but not out of curiosity. Out of fear. Her movements were slow, hesitant. Don't, I said. But she was already walking down the hallway. She stopped at the doorway to our daughter's room. The light from the night light spilled out into the hall. Our daughter lay still, her breathing calm. My wife whispered. She's going to be fine. Her voice cracked on the last word, like she was trying to convince herself of it. I stepped beside her. We both just stared at the crib. The monitor in her hand hissed softly. Then through the speaker, so faint I almost missed it, came a voice. Not my daughter's. Not my wife's. A whisper, cold and close. She is. The monitor went silent. For a long moment, neither of us moved. My wife's hand found mine, trembling. Her eyes never left the screen. And then, barely louder than a breath, she said, it's already chosen. Something in me just snapped. Instinct. Panic. Love. I don't know. I rushed past her and scooped our daughter into my arms. Her skin was burning again. Hotter than before. Her head rolled back and a hoarse scream tore from her throat. Help me. I yelled. Do something. But my wife just shook her head, tears streaming down her face. You can't stop it. My daughter convulsed. Her hands clawed at my shirt, her little fingers digging into my wrist. That's when it happened. The pain. It was like fire under my skin. It started where she grabbed me and crawled up my arm, slow and deliberate. I tried to pull away, but she held on tight, impossibly strong for someone so small. Her eyes snapped open. For one horrible moment, they weren't her eyes at all. They were black, deep and endless, reflecting nothing. Then she gasped. Daddy. Her voice was small again. Familiar. The burning stopped. She blinked, dazed, then looked toward the doorway. Mommy? You're home, she said softly, a smile spreading across her face. I missed you. My wife dropped to her knees, sobbing, clutching her to her chest. She's okay, she kept whispering. She's okay. But she wasn't looking at me. I stumbled backward, clutching my wrist. The skin was blistered and red, the veins beneath it glowing faintly, pulsing like they were alive. Every heartbeat felt wrong. Slower. Hotter. Something was moving inside me. My daughter is sleeping soundly again. My wife is sitting beside her, humming the same lullaby she used to sing when she was a baby. There's relief in her eyes, but she won't look at me. Maybe she already knows. My hand won't stop shaking. The burn has spread up my arm, moving towards my chest. Every pulse feels heavier, slower, like my heart's fighting something it can't win against. It doesn't hurt anymore. That's the worst part. The pain's gone, but the warmth stayed. Something's alive inside me. Breathing. Waiting. Our daughter is fine now. Her fever's gone. Mine's just beginning. Whatever saved our daughter didn't leave. It just found a new place to live.